Good morning, this is Shindo. Now I have stayed away from this for a long time. I have been aware of this idea of flat earthers for a couple years, I guess. Unfortunately, in the circles that I'm associated in, Gnostic Luciferian circles, maybe you could call them that, you're going to find people who, when they don't believe in one thing, for instance, they don't believe in the Judeo-Christian God, they seem to think that they don't need to believe in anything that they're told. This is just another indication of the dark ages in which we live in, just another indication of how basic science and understanding is being broken down. And on the forefront of this flat earth idea, you're going to find people who are zealous type fundamental Christians who believe, because basically the Bible says that the earth is flat, the four corners of the earth, etc., that it must be true, and the scientists are lying to us. Well, I can give you a list of all kinds of facts, scientific facts, to you flat earthers, and you won't listen to that. So if any of you who come on this channel are a flat earther, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Why? Why is NASA lying to us? I mean, it's really difficult for them to continue this facade in your eyes that the earth is flat. So my question, which is a question that I don't think is being asked enough to these flat earthers, why are they lying to us? Why? Well, you may have heard that Shaq O'Neal, someone who I have grown incredibly tired of seeing in commercials on television, guy who speaks as though he has marbles in his mouth, I can barely understand him, is now a flat earther. Surprise, surprise. I mean, who would think that somebody as brilliant as a former NBA basketball star would be a flat earther? Well, I decided to look up a nice little article that, for those of you who are not aware of this flat earth conspiracy theory, and I'd be surprised if most of the people who subscribe to me are completely unaware of this, but if you are unaware of this, then this is what flat earthers on social media really believe. This is the title of the article. You will find it in the description box. If you like what I do, then please subscribe to my channel, click like for my videos, comment on them, and share my videos. This is from cnet.com. Social clues. We dug deep into the flat earth and fell into outer space on the other side. It is 2017 and we still have to explain to people that the earth is not flat. Folks, people have known that the earth is not flat for about 4,000 years. Okay, so this is not NASA, by the way. More than 2,500 years after Pythagoras and the ancient Greeks realized that our planet is spherical, some of the Earth's residents still believe that they are roaming around on a giant disk floating through space. Shaquille O'Neal is just the most famous of the recently declared flat earthers, with the basketball star joining the ranks of woke folks like Kyrie Irving and rapper B.O.B. Shaq was trending on Twitter and Facebook over the weekend for alleging the earth was frisbee-shaped, with his foolproof argument, quote, "I drive from Florida to California all the time, and it's flat to me. I do not go up and down at a 360-degree angle," unquote. So just give me a second. It's unbelievable. I can't. I'll tell you this. Back in 2004, I drove out to Colorado. I wanted to see the Rocky Mountains. And the first thing I saw of the Rocky Mountains was something that just sort of appeared like a cloud on the horizon, hovering over the horizon. I saw the peaks of the Rocky Mountains first. Why is that? Because the earth is a sphere. The Kazam actor is not alone in his beliefs. Just take a look at Flat Earth hashtag on Twitter and you'll find entire groups organized around disproving NASA, the European Space Agency, SpaceX, basically any organization that has actually been to space. Here's the most popular things the flat earthers on social media actually believe. The truth is out there, presumably on flat surface. If the earth is round, why don't we see any curves when I look out? Shaq made the same argument in his rant, which Bob also pointed out during his weird beef with Neil deGrasse Tyson. The idea is that you can look out forever and never see a curve, therefore proving the earth is flat. People on Twitter post photos from planes and high altitudes in an attempt to show that the horizon just goes on forever as a flat surface. These, quote, proofs are inherently wrong because they don't show any objects in focus affected by the curvature. People are too small to see the curvature at eye level, which happens at 3.1 miles or 5 kilometers out. Next time you see a boat heading into the ocean, you'll notice that it disappears after a certain distance. That's not the boat falling off the face of the flat earth. That is moving out of your line of sight, thanks to the round earth curves. The sun actually rotates above the earth. These are their theories. This is where the flat earth starts to get even weirder. The argument takes on both spherical planets and heliocentric solar system. Under the model, the sun and the moon rotate around the flat earth like a ceiling fan and adjust the radius based on the season. This model also suggests that the sun and the moon are both floating spheres with a 32-mile radius, 3,000 miles above the Earth's surface. NASA has determined that the sun is 92.9 million miles away, which is lucky for us. If the sun were only 3,000 miles away from the Earth, the planet would be burnt to a crisp. Well, that's what it says, away from the Earth. I guess it means closer, flat or round. And according to the flat earthers, the sun and the moon both have radii smaller than San Francisco's square mileage. At this puny size, the Earth would never receive the amount of energy that it currently does for solar power and photosynthesis. But the flat earthers' theories don't stop there. Another theory, the moon doesn't rotate. In this video posted on Twitter, which received more than 113 likes, the speaker argues that you can only see one side of the moon in an attempt to prove that the Earth is actually flat and underneath the lunar object. The theory makes sense, but only if you're buying into all the other flat Earth fallacies. It neglects the fact that the moon, like the Earth and every other celestial object, also rotates on its own. In fact, the moon, quote, didn't spin like the tweet suggested. It would mean that people would actually get to see the far side of the moon. Here's an animation made for children that might help with the understanding. And there is a link to a YouTube video, and of course I will have a link to this article in the description box. I don't feel the Earth rotating. Another argument. Science has explained that the Earth rotates at 1,000 miles an hour at its equator, but flat earthers are not buying it. Wouldn't people feel the rush of the rotation if the planet were spinning at that speed, you could ask? Well, no, you wouldn't. Think about it when you're in an airplane or a train ride that's moving at a constant speed. as astrophysicist Sabrina Stilwat explains for Cornell University. Quote, ask an astronomer, unquote. As long as it's smooth, constant speed, you wouldn't feel any movement at all. When you're on a flight, do you feel like you're personally blasting at 570 miles per hour through the air? You feel a change in speed, not a constant. If the Earth suddenly stopped moving, the atmosphere would continue to blast forward at 1,000 miles an hour, destroying everybody, according to NASA. But, NASA's a bunch of liars. Why they're lying, I don't know. Flat Earthers don't explain that, but webcomic XKCD's creator Randall Munroe explains the morbid aftermath in his book, quote, What If? So, I finally addressed the whole flat Earth idea. There are a lot of people out there that believe this. And what's scary is the same thing that makes somebody like Trump supporters scary, because they are rabid about this stuff. They treat this kind of stuff almost as though it were part of their religion. It's just another indication of the dark ages in which we live. That now we have this shill, Shaq O'Neal, who now believes that the earth is flat. We are not progressing as a species. The vast majority of us are not evolving. We are devolving into something that is unrecognizable to me. Every day, it's something new. Every day, it's something new. Something insane. When I first heard about this, I couldn't believe it. But believe it. I live in a town that is one of the major NASA areas. So, for me to grow up in this town and hear this ridiculous nonsense, it's mind-boggling. And it's scary for us as a species. It is. Those few of us, those few that are going to make it past all this. The truth of the matter is, and this is as cold as it gets, but people like this need to be wiped off the face of the planet. And they will be. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it to yourselves. You hold on to these ideas as though they're tantamount to who you are. Things like flat Earth, which makes no sense to me. Why someone would be so adamantly opposed to the idea that the earth is round. So adamantly opposed to the idea that Donald Trump is not good for this country. Things like that. It's just another indication, folks, of the dark ages in which we live. This is Shindo. Have a good Tuesday.